Welcome to The Explainer, where today we're digging into the absolutely wild comeback story of a shoe that pretty much everyone loved to hate. This is how Crocs went from being a global punchline to a multi-billion-dollar giant, all by embracing the one thing people made fun of. It's ugliness. So here's how we're going to break it down. We're going to start at rock bottom with a $1 nightmare. Then we'll go back to the beginning to uncover its origin as an accidental icon. After that, we'll get into the company-saving strategy called the clog relevance pivot. And finally, we'll see how they totally mastered the art of weaponizing ugly. To really appreciate the miracle, you have to understand the disaster first. The year is 2008. The fad is over, the hype is totally dead, and the Crocs empire is literally about to collapse. I mean, it is hard to overstate just how bad things got. The company's stock, which once soared up to nearly $75 a share, just completely cratered. It fell to less than $1. This wasn't just a dip, this was a total wipeout. And the cultural backlash? It was just as brutal. Time magazine literally called it one of the worst inventions in history. I hate Crocs blogs were popping up everywhere. The shoe wasn't just unpopular, it had become a complete joke. So, what on earth happened? It wasn't just one thing. It was a perfect storm of bad decisions and bad timing. The 2008 recession hit right as the company was expanding way too fast. They diluted their brand with all these random products nobody wanted, and they completely messed up their supply chain, leaving them buried in warehouses full of shoes. So, how did this all even begin? The Croc wasn't designed in some high fashion studio in Paris or Milan. No, its story starts, of all places, on a boat. See, the entire Crocs empire is built on this one thing, a unique, patented material they call Croslite. It's not rubber, it's not plastic. This proprietary foam is their secret weapon. It's the source of that signature comfort, and it's their biggest competitive advantage. And the rise was just meteoric. It started as a niche boating shoe, right? But then it completely exploded with a different audience. People who spent all day on their feet. We're talking nurses, chefs, gardeners. They didn't care one bit about fashion. They just cared that their feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. It was all about function over form. But after that 2008 crash, the company was totally lost. It needed a radical, dramatic change. And that change came in 2014 with a new leader who had a really daring and frankly brutal plan to save the whole brand. I mean, this was the central question facing the new CEO, Andrew Rees, back in 2014. The brand was a joke, sales were dead in the water, and no one knew what to do. His answer would change everything. Rees's plan was ruthless, but absolutely necessary. He closed over 160 stores, slashed tons of jobs, and cut more than half the entire product line. The mission was simple: stop trying to be everything to everyone. Instead, bet the entire future of the company on that one single polarizing product, the classic clog. And here is where the story gets really good. The genius of the new strategy wasn't about changing the shoe. It was about changing what people thought of the shoe. They didn't try to make the clog prettier. They decided to make it cool. This was the masterstroke. Instead of running away from that ugly label, they just owned it. They launched the Come As You Are campaign, and they reframed the shoe as a badge of individuality, a symbol of self-expression. It basically gave people permission to be weird. And then came the collabs. They partnered with the high fashion house Balenciaga to create an $850 platform clog that sold out almost instantly. It was completely absurd, it was ironic, it was brilliant. The message was clear. Crocs were not just for gardeners anymore. They were for the fashion elite. They kept this going with partnerships that just felt authentic. They didn't just pay random celebrities. They teamed up with artists like Post Malone and Bad Bunny, who were already genuine fans of the brand. This created this massive organic buzz that felt real, especially to a Gen Z audience that can spot a fake corporate partnership from a mile away. And we have to talk about Jibbitz. It's an amazing story. It started with a mom named Sherry Schmalzer in her basement, just sticking charms into her kids' Crocs. The idea completely exploded, and Crocs bought her company for $10 million. These little charms turned every single clog into a personal canvas and created this incredibly high-margin revenue stream. It now makes up 8% of total sales. It's like a whole business within the business. This quote from their CMO just perfectly captures the whole strategy. They realize that if half the world hates you, you can convince the other half to love you twice as much. Polarization wasn't a weakness, it was their greatest weapon. And the result of all this? Absolutely staggering. By 2024, Crocs just smashed all the records, hitting $4.1 billion in annual revenue. It is truly one of the greatest business comeback stories of all time. And the brand isn't stopping there. To stay relevant, they're looking to the future. They're innovating their core cross-light material with biocircular content, and they're aiming to slash the shoe's carbon footprint in half by 2030. But hey, it's not a perfect fairy tale. The road ahead has some major challenges, including the really tough job of integrating its massive $2.5 billion acquisition of the brand Hey Dude. The same discipline that saved the company is going to be needed to navigate whatever comes next. And that's really the ultimate lesson here. Crocs didn't build a multi-billion-dollar empire by trying to fix their product. They won by weaponizing the hate, by leaning into what made them weird, and by giving the entire world permission to be comfortably, unapologetically ugly. They prove that in a world obsessed with authenticity, being polarizing isn't just okay. It can actually be your greatest strength.